Hello and welcome to the course on design thinking. In today's session, we will cover the following. What is cognitive bias? Some examples of cognitive biases. Why should design thinkers be aware of cognitive biases? How can we avoid cognitive biases from creeping in the design decisions? So let's get started. Strangely, most of us consider ourselves in being rational when it comes to taking decisions, but I urge you to think again. Reflect on the last decision you took. Was it totally rational? Were you aware of the actual reasons, or was the judgment or decision clouded by something you might not be aware of? Pause the video, think about it, and resume the video. Answer. We are not as rational as we consider ourselves to be. We have certain flaws, certain biases, and most often than not, we take decisions based on feelings and rationalize or justify them later. Human beings are flawed and fragile. Only AI so far is completely rational. One such flaw or way of systematic functioning of the human brain is cognitive bias, which is defined by a psychologist as a systemic error in thinking that occurs when people are processing and interpreting information in the world around them, and it affects the decisions and judgments that they make. Did you notice something? It's systemic, implying it's a kind of an inbuilt system, which in turn means that it's natural. Now, this means that there is some purpose or functionality behind cognitive biases. A cognitive bias is actually a shortcut our brain uses to conserve time, energy in taking decisions. It's the smart way. The brain summarizes inputs that it receives from various sources that we might not be conscious about and makes a shortcut. This shortcut is also called a heuristic. Now, these shortcuts actually make our brains functioning faster. However, when we need to deliberate, decide, or pass a judgment, we should not be quick but slow. Heuristics can cloud our judgment. It is estimated that the human brain has more than 100 cognitive biases or heuristics. However, today we will discuss a few that are important for design thinking. These are confirmation bias, functional fixedness, anchoring bias, and framing effect. Now let's understand each one of them with the help of an example. Confirmation bias. It is a tendency to seek out and prefer information that supports our pre-existing belief. Example. If we have a particular worldview about people from a particular background or profession, we will tend to believe what fits the stereotype and will readily be judgmental. Confirmation bias can extend to gender, nationalities, etc., and can hinder people from accepting ideas, working together, and coming up with new and creative ideas. Functional fixedness is a tendency to see objects only working in a particular way, which inhibits the search for new possibilities. An elementary example being a fan. If we are fixated with the idea that a fan can only circulate air in a room, we will not be able to innovate and add other features as maybe a light or add a spray function, etc. Anchoring bias is a tendency to rely heavily on the first piece of information we receive about a situation, person, or thing. So, when we are searching for information online, we will tend to easily believe information that comes up first, and the rest of our decisions or judgments could be aimed to that information, making our viewpoints biased. Framing effect implies that we as individuals make choices or judgments often based on how information is presented to us. Example, suppose we were to choose an investment and the following information is presented. The security offers a 10% fixed return every year, or the investor's money will double in 10 years. Which according to you will have a more positive impact, or in other words, which prospect is framed more positively? In most cases, the first will be preferred because it talks about a yearly return which is better than a riskier long time period of 10 years. Now, there are a multitude of other biases that all of us have and most of us are not even aware of, and all these can interfere in our decision making and might prevent us from grasping new ideas because they will get automatically filtered out. Think about all the assumptions you might have about people, places, things, and situation, and critically think about your choices. This is one way to identify biases. Let's summarize. Cognitive biases are inherent in our thinking process. These biases are our brain's way of smarter, faster, and more efficient functioning. However, human choices are complex, and we need to be aware of these mental shortcuts in order to master design thinking, which is in a sense a problem-solving approach. We discussed 4 elementary biases: confirmation bias, functional fixedness, anchoring bias, and framing effect. In short, these tendencies make us believe in what we wish for, make us obsessed with only one way of looking at things, quick to make judgments and get carried away with the play of words. Look for others. Thank you for your attention. Stay curious, stay inspired, and until next time, happy learning.